Hey guys, how you doing? I hope you're doing okay. I'm going to read through the full article here. I'm also going to have a quick look at another article in regards to the same subject. Now, I am going to ask you to like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. The reason why I'm stating that right at the beginning is because I am risking breaking some of YouTube's terms of services. They do seem to be strict in regards to misinformation and things like this, and I'm not sure if I might be deemed guilty of wrongthink or talking about topics which we're not supposed to be talking about. We should be talking about the Oscars and the Grammys and what's going on with Madonna and things like this. We're not supposed to be talking about multiple large food processing and distribution plants having exploded or been burnt down. We're not supposed to be talking about such things. Let's be quiet about such things. So look, if you do value this type of topic, please do give me a bit of encouragement. Give me some reward, a like, a comment, a subscribe. As food uncertainty lingers on the horizon thanks to the United States sanctions and government decimation of the economy during the past 2 years, there is another factor contributing to the problem. Since the beginning of the year, 2022, there have been several very large food processing facilities that have exploded or burned to the ground across the United States. Well, that's a little odd, isn't it? Why would that be a thing? This week, a vegetable and nut processing facility in Oregon became engulfed in flames for unknown reasons. So that's a vegetable and nut processing facility. Apparently, there was a pop, and all of a sudden there was a fire, according to the 911 reports. Lights flickered, there was a pop, then there was a fire. So, I don't know, electrical fire? Was it purposeful, or was it just one of those things? Well, we don't know. The independent distributor of natural, organic, and non-GMO foods, which employs around 150 people, burned to the ground. The facility burned to the ground. I'm sure it had fire safety precautions in place. However, seemingly they weren't that effective given that the facility burned to the ground. 1 week before that, also in Oregon, a massive fire brought down a meat processing plant in Conway, New Hampshire. It burned for 16 hours. Multiple fire crews finally put out the fire, but the facility is completely destroyed. A meat processing facility completely destroyed. That same week in California, a massive fire at the Taylor Farms processing facility led to the evacuation of residents as it burned for over 17 hours. Taylor Farms is a major agricultural company that processes and delivers many of the salad kits seen in grocery stores. The cause of the fire is currently under investigation. So we can see a little bit in this video of the fire at Taylor Farms in Salinas, California. So this fire burned for over 17 hours. And this happened in a like a salad processing facility, if I understand correctly. Let me see if there's audio. So, a devastating fire. Just weeks before that, a massive fire engulfed a Walmart distribution center where over 1,000 employees shipped foods and other supplies all over the area in Indiana. The fire destroyed the massive 1 million square foot operation. Fuck me. That's a big fire. That same week, one of the largest food facilities of its kind in South Texas caught fire and burned to the ground. And that was the Rio Fresh facility in San Juan, Texas. And they grew, packed, and shipped a variety of Texas vegetables. sweet onions, melons, greens, cabbage, kale. Again, the cause of the fire is currently unknown. Oregon, in February, a massive food processing facility suddenly exploded, injuring 7 of the nearly 400 employees that work at the Shearer's Foods plant. The cause of the explosion currently unknown. This is the Shearer's Food plant. Maricopa Food Pantry wiped out in a fire. They distribute food to the less fortunate, to the homeless. More than £50,000 of food was destroyed in that blaze. So there's been a lot of fires and a lot of explosions. Tyson poultry meal plants, large fire, Wisconsin River Meats, Kellogg's, Cargill Nutrina feed mill, explosion and fire. $100,000 in damages at a San Antonio food processing plant. Fire erupts at a meat processing facility in Lackawanna County. Cobb County Meat Company, major fire. Nebraska JBS beef plant, fire shuts it down. I mean, there's a lot of examples. To be clear, general warehouse fires are quite common. In fact, fire departments respond to more than 1,000 a year. However, the main cause of these fires is arson. What's more, fires in food processing facilities are not that common and occur far less often. So, what's going on, guys? What is going on? Why are there so many fires in an industry which, according to this article here, fires don't occur that often? Yeah, this seems to be pretty regular to me. But hey, look, who's spreading this message? Well, it includes Cernovich. So do we trust Cernovich? Well, he's still on Twitter, so I guess he is trustable. I mean, if he wasn't, then he would have been kicked off Twitter, right? Here's this article. I haven't actually looked at it yet. What's going on? FBI warns of cyber attacks on food plants following a mysterious rash of fires. A small plane killed 2 people as it crashed near a General Mills plant in Georgia. The plane reportedly exploded on impact and came close to demolishing the cereal manufacturer's facility. Holy fuck. I mean, is that a normal thing to have planes nearly destroying food processing plants? Is that a normal thing? The crash near the General Mills plant comes after a string of food processing plants have been set ablaze. Now the FBI is warning of possible cyber attacks on food plants in the United States. So we're going to read through this little section here, which is a notice published by the FBI's Cyber Division. They published this in the last week. So let's have a look. Ransomware actors may be more likely to attack agricultural cooperatives during critical planting and harvest seasons, disrupting operations, causing financial loss, and negatively impacting the food supply chain. 2021 and early 2022 ransomware attacks on farming cooperatives could affect the current planting season by disrupting the supply of seeds and fertilizer. A significant disruption of grain production could impact the entire food chain, since grain is not only consumed by humans but also used for animal feed. In addition, a significant disruption of grain and corn production could impact commodities trading and stocks. Look, I've not been following this subject perhaps as closely as I ought to have, but I've seen headlines talking about, I may have this wrong, so don't take this as being correct. It's unlikely to be spot on, but I think I've seen headlines saying that trains transporting grain and fertilizer have been purposefully stopped or disallowed. And I think this is the part that I've likely got wrong, is I think I've read that Biden has been responsible for such a directive. I might well be wrong. I think I've just seen a headline or two on the internet. Could be bogus information. But seemingly this is something that I'm going to pay more attention to, and perhaps you ought to too. Pay a little bit more attention to what? We're going to pay attention to why the fuck are there multiple fires and explosions going on in multiple food processing plants across the United States, both in regards to vegetable production and meat production. Why is that happening? We're also going to keep an eye out for what the fuck is going on with grain and fertilizer in regards to the supply chain. You know, are there any issues in regards to the distribution of grain and fertilizer within the United States and other countries? Are there issues in regards to that? We're going to keep an eye out for that. If I see a headline with that topic, I'm going to look into it. I'm not going to skip over it. This is important. Maybe this is a big nothing burger. Hopefully it is. Maybe it's completely normal for dozens of food processing plants to explode and to be burnt down to the ground. Maybe that's completely normal. I've just not come across it before. Maybe the disruption of the grain and the fertilizer supply chains, which is imperative to food production, maybe that's normal too. Maybe we always have problems with grain and fertilizer in the supply chain not getting to where it needs to. Maybe that's always been a thing. I don't know. I can't say for sure, and I wouldn't want to speculate in case I did the whole wrong thing or misinformation thing. But it is something that I'm going to keep an eye on. And maybe I'll do an update. I mean, on this channel, I don't tend to be political. But this seemingly does involve crime. This perhaps involves the crimes of arson. Obviously, I wouldn't suggest there were political crimes happening. No, come on. But crimes of arson, perhaps. We all need to keep an eye on this, guys. Because food... I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. But my understanding is that food is at least kind of important to both humans and animals. So we do want to make sure that in the midst of this global economic, cultural, and society collapse with the advent of ongoing civil wars and likely world war, we do want to make sure that we can still eat during this period. I'm going to wrap things up here. If you do value this, if you appreciate my comments, even though they are somewhat smothered in snarkiness, if you do like that kind of thing, please do like, comment, subscribe, share the video as you see fit. And yeah, honestly, I do think this is something that we ought to keep an eye on. I mean, we can't really do too much about it. If there are powers that be that wish to subject us to starvation, well, I guess that's how it's going to be. I don't have a solution. Maybe I'll start planting some cabbage in the backyard.